What's up, guys? It's your boy Kurt, coach of the East Coast Bishop, bringing you my PMU Season 9 Draft Analysis. This PMU is run by my boy Just Kurt, an amazing homie. I'm just going to jump right into this with my round 1 pick from pick 7. I picked up Deoxys Speed. I have this Z Crystal on Deoxys. I was only allowed 1 Z with this, so getting Deoxys Speed, it looks like a lot of fun as a mon. Base 180 speed, meaning I can get a lot of plus offense natures, seeing as it can be mixed with 95 attack, 95 special attack. It's decently bulky with 50 HP, 90 defense, and 90 speed F, meaning it's not going to die to a single hit, which is really nice. It's got a lot of utility too with setup moves, taunt, both spikes and stealth rock. It could be screens, just a lot of really cool moves. This feels like a mon that I would really enjoy. Being able to have fast taunts that only prankster mons can outspeed with status is really nice. Outspeeding generally most of the Scarfers under 105, which leaves a lot of the base 100 mons, such as like 95 for Zygarde, 100 just like Zardex at +1, so that's really nice. That's that it can outspeed those mons and be potential checks. So to pair with this, I needed a breaker for steel types, so I wasn't relying on setup to try and break the steel types for Deoxys, so that it makes it a bit easier for Deoxys. So I decided to pick up Tarakion. Really strong fighting stab in close combat, and Stone Edge for the rock stab. Earthquake, great coverage with Edgequake basically, and then Swords Dance, meaning I can break a lot of mons, but it can also be a really viable Scarfer. It could be a Choice Bandit if I really feel like it. There's just a lot that this mon can do that I really feel like benefits Deoxys. So as well as being able to just pivot in on knockoffs and stuff like that Deoxys doesn't really want to deal with, it makes it a lot easier for Deoxys to potentially be a win con if I don't bring a leads Deoxys. So to pair with this, I felt like I needed a rocker that wasn't Deoxys. I needed a steel type so that I could start potentially working on a Dragon Fairy Steel Core. So I picked up Heatran in round 3, which honestly I think Heatran was a really good pickup for this team. Gives me a fire immunity, gives me a good rocker, it gives me trapping for mons like Celesteela, and that could really put a damper on my Deoxys and Tarakion. So I feel like this mon really fit into what I wanted it to do. And so I picked up Heatran, and then I felt like I needed another pivot, bulky pivot. So I decided to pick up my man Swampert. Honestly, I really enjoy using Swampert. It's a really fun mon. It's got a lot of bulk. It's got viable options to run both special and physical. It's got it gives me another rocker. So I've got a lot of stealth rocks on this team. I've got phasing with Raw. I can force switches with Yawn. It gets Curse set up if I feel like that could potentially do something in the game. Just there's a lot that Swampert can provide for this team. It's got a lot of coverage options to try and deal with mons. So to pair with this, I felt like I was stacking ground weakness, so I decided I needed a bulky grass type. I was originally going to go with Tangrowth, but that got taken the round I was going to pick it, so I picked up Devaduey. This gives me removal. It gives me priority with Sucker Punch and Shadow Sneak, as well as being able to set up. It can also haze. It has screens as well. Well, it has light screen as well if I feel like I need to be able to take special hits better on Deoxys. It gives me removal with the fog. A really cool gimmick with Curse if I feel like I can get away with that. Again, the ability to go special and physical is big. And just it gives a lot of utility for the team. It gives me momentum to try and pivot, slow pivot into Deoxys, which is something at the moment that I'm lacking, was pivoting. So I felt like I needed a mon that was about 115, so that the 115 mons couldn't run modest versus me. oh well, not the 150, the 130 mons or something. Sorry. And so I decided to pick up Riku. Again, it stacks the ground weakness, which is not amazing. My only switch in being Devaduey at the moment. But I felt like Riku really fit the team, because what it gave me was, it gave me Volt Switch momentum. It can be sub Calm Mind. It's got a lot of utility with, again, screens being one of them. It gives me priority with extreme speed if I really feel like that's something I want to go down the path of. But it also gives me just a really nice special attacker that isn't a more bulky mon such as Heatran or Devaduey or Swampert. It just gives me something that is reliable as a special attacker. It gives me a lot of it can be Calm Mind, it could be Specs, it could be Scarf, so it gives me another Scarfer. But it can also just be a general annoyance, just pivoting around on teams. Bringing in Deoxys on mons that don't want to deal with Deoxys is really big. So to patch up the ground weakness that I'm having, I decided I needed to pick up a flying type, and so I picked up my man Golbat. This is a really fun mon. It gives me again another remover, which is something that I desperately needed, having only Devaduey as removal and potentially Taunt as my only other way to stop. But it also gets stuff like Super Fang with Infiltrator, so that mons with Substitute can't be super annoying, as well as Taunt, and it can Toxic through subs, as well as Pivot. So it gives me again another slow momentum into Deoxys. So yeah, a few nice slow pivots. So next up, I needed my Dragon type. I was running low on points, so I had to get a tier 4. So I picked up Drampa. This one's a lot of fun. It gives me a normal type, so I have a Ghost to switch in. I am a little bit fighting weak at the moment. I do have a few good switch-ins, but I wasn't too worried. Picking up Drampa was a lot of fun, actually. This is going to be really fun. Having Berserk, it's got Sap Sipper for grass immunity. Just a lot of really cool abilities on that. So yeah, I'm really looking forward to using Drampa. It just looks like a really fun mon to be able to use. Especially with its special attack stat. Like, it's got 135 special attack with Berserk. It's not the bulkiest, but it also does get Roost. It can stop weather if I have to play against weather, so that's really cool. It's got Glare, stuff like that. So it can be a really nice utility mon. So next up, I decided that I needed another ground immunity. And I needed a ghost type so that I could spin block, well, a second ghost type so I could spin block, because this one gave me just a speed tier really, and I picked up Haunter. I needed that 95 speed tier, so I wasn't reliant on running fast Heatran or fast Swampert, and it stopped space 100 mons creeping for Swampert and stuff like that. So I picked up Haunter. It's not the weakest, it's very frail, so that's something I have to think about. But with 115 special attack, it's not the worst. It's got nice coverage with stuff like Thunderbolt, Focus Blast, Energy Ball, Dazzling Gleam, Giga Drain even, so it can hit some really cool mons. It's got Psychic. This just really was starting to pick up glue for the team. Like, I've got Disable, I can be Destiny Bond if there's a massive threat on the other team. And then next up, I picked up Skunk. I have 3 poison types, only 2 of them sharing a weakness, so that's really nice. Skunk gives me another Defogger that isn't Golbat and Devaduey, which is really nice. It's pretty bulky. It hits okay. It hits decently hard. It's got some decent coverage. It's got priority with Sucker Punch. It can just be Taunt. It can absorb. I needed a grounded poison, so I picked up this just so that I could absorb T-Spikes. It also gives me a Dark type, so I don't just lose to set up Psychic types instantly, so they can't just run mono Psychic attack. That was the main reason for picking up Skunk. And last but not least, I needed to pick up my Mega. I had basically no points for picking up Tarakion Heatran, so I picked up Mega Ordna. I feel like this really fits this team. It gives me Wish support, Heal Bell support, encore utility. It can be a Calm Mind, like Wish, with 2 attacks, if I feel like it can get away with that in a matchup. I just feel like this is a really, really good mon. It's got decent coverage if I can't fit Heal Bell, as well as Wish Protect and stuff like that. So that's really, really cool. So that's my draft for PMU. I think this team is going to be a lot of fun. Week 1 we play against Carson, so I'll see you for my game week 1.